This is the Oura Ring Gen 4. Also, don't worry, I'm not flipping you off this early in the video. I've been wearing the Gen 4 for the last couple of months after originally testing the Gen 2 and really disliking it. The Gen 4 though, I think it's great, so let me explain why. I primarily care about wearing a smart ring at night. Fixing my sleep is why I wear these things, but more about that soon. Oura redesigned the Gen 4 in my eyes dramatically. The Gen 4 has a flush interior instead of those old sensor bumps from the Gen 2 and Gen 3. That's why you also need to get the new sizing kit if you have an older Oura Ring, as they are not compatible anymore. My problem with the old Gen 2 is it used to become uncomfortable whenever my fingers swelled a bit during the night, which happens more often than you'd think, especially if you lift weights like I do, or, just exist as a human being with circulation. So even though my Gen 2 was a little loose, I regularly woke up and had to rip it off because my fingers started to hurt, which kills the whole point of the thing. But the Gen 4 is much better. I can wear it overnight without noticing at all, and I sleep with my right hand, this one, where I wear the ring under the pillow, kinda like that. It's the hardest challenge I could give to the ring, and it kills it. Also, by the way, this is a size 11, and so was the Gen 2, which is probably one size too big, but I am not risking the whole hurting finger thing again. Now I flipped you off. But not only did they change the insides, they also made the design fully round and a little more minimalistic. With the Gen 2 and Gen 3, you had to pay extra to get a completely round ring, which I guess is one way to get rich. But for the latest Oura, Gen 4, all rings are fully round, they only differ in colors. And I obviously had to get the matte black version because matte black for life. The ring has a small notch on the outside to help it align properly. This is where the sensors live, so for the best tracking you want to keep this towards the bottom. Though according to Oura, they've improved the algorithm to improve data accuracy. They call this smart sensing, which is marketing BS and hard for me to test the accuracy of, but looking at my data, I have fewer gaps than I had when I wore the Gen 2 back in the days. So compared to the non-round predecessors, it's a bit harder to align correctly, but I don't think it's a big problem, it's just less obvious. Now, as for battery life, I can safely say that it's a no-brainer. It holds up for about a week and I simply charge it occasionally whenever I remember before taking a shower, and yes, before you ask, I shower more than once per week. Since wearing this, I haven't gotten a low battery message once and mostly just remember that I haven't charged in a while, so I'll just put it on the charger. Oh, and a little side note, if you come from Gen 2 or Gen 3, the chargers aren't compatible. The old charger is very different to the new one. But that's stock data, which is why you wear this after all. If you just wear it as an accessory, there are probably cheaper options out there. When I wore the Gen 2, I always felt a little lost staring at all the collected data. Little parenthesis, I have the same problem with something like the Apple Watch Ultra that I'm also wearing. Apple Health is great as a database for all types of incoming data, but I have no freaking clue how to read any of it without getting a PhD in health science. As for the Oura, with the release of the Gen 4, they updated their app, and the redesigned app dashboard actually helps now. It's organized in 3 sections: Today, Vitals, and My Health. In the Today view, you'll find your timeline and things like your sleep and readiness score. It also gives you other scores at a quick glance, but you'll find more details about these on the Vitals tab. You have to tab on the different scores to see more, and it's also here you'll find some explanation as to what any of this means. Because let's be honest, what's a readiness score of 76 telling me? Maybe I'm just too dedicated, but if my calendar tells me to go to the gym, I go to the gym. I don't listen to a ring telling me not to, because what's the difference? Finally, in the My Health tab, you'll find a quick overview about your current health situation, at least according to the ring. The one software win regarding the whole health tab, the symptom radar feature randomly flagged that something seemed wrong one day, and 24 hours later I was half dying from a stomach bug. Could I have done something against it after the ring told me? Probably not, but at least I was mentally prepared that something was wrong, and believe me, something was wrong. For me, the most useful realization has been about sleep timing, not sleep duration. I sleep about 8 hours per night on most days, but when I actually go to sleep. My big health project is trying to figure out why I'm tired even though I sleep on average 8 hours, have my nutrition on point. I've been tracking my food for 2 years at this point. And like a certain professor turned podcaster keeps telling us, get sunlight in as soon as I wake up. Heck, I even wear these stupid looking glasses every evening to cut off blue light. Though they do actually help. If you want my thoughts on these, comment down below and I'll do a video. But despite all that, I still wake up tired. But after wearing it for a while, the ring kept nudging me to go to bed earlier, and after some painful experiments, I've realized that it's right. If I go to bed around midnight instead of 1 AM when I normally go, I generally feel better in the morning even if I get the same number of hours. As a natural night owl living in a world designed for morning larks, it's an ongoing project, but it's the first time I've had data backing up what my body was vaguely complaining about. The Oura Ring says I'm an early evening type, and I initially disagreed. I thought and still think that I'm a hardcore night owl. If it were up to me, I'd sleep from 3 to 11 AM, but it's not up to me. I have a day job. So like and subscribe to this video so that I can stop doing the other thing. There's also just too much stuff to do in the evening, and I don't really care about morning routines and waking up at 4 AM to seize the day. My morning routine is trying to not hit snooze and trying not to get burnt while making my first coffee of the day. But if I listen to the Oura and go to bed earlier, I'm less tired. And I hate that it's right. But let's talk about the elephant in the room. The Oura Ring isn't cheap. The ring itself costs $350 or €399, and on top of that, there's a $6 per month subscription if you want full access to all the data and features, and you do want full access to all the data and features. An Apple Watch starts at the same price, well except this one, and does more, though I have no clue how people can wear this thing to track sleep because it's so bulky and super uncomfortable for me to wear to bed. $350 is a lot of dough, especially now that Samsung has entered the smart ring game and Apple is rumored to be working on one too. So while Oura still makes the best smart ring you can buy right now and quality has a price, the pressure is building. I'm wondering how long they can keep the price as high when a company like Samsung or Apple can just subsidize it in other ways. But despite everything, the price, the weird subscription model, the fact that the data is still kinda hard to read, I generally prefer wearing the Oura Ring over any smartwatch. I still have to take it off for weight training because I'm not risking scratches or worse, crushed fingers on the barbell, and for that I grudgingly use the Apple Watch, where, by the way, I've turned off all the notification anyway because it's just annoying. A silent, invisible, minimalist ring that tracks my sleep and basic recovery is way more my speed. And the Gen 4 fixes the biggest issues I had with the older Oura Rings. It's comfortable enough to forget you're wearing it, and that alone makes it worth considering if you're into tracking your health without strapping a screen to your body. The question then comes down to, do you need the data in the first place? And let's be honest, it looks fucking sick with my to-dos. Okay, that's my review for the Oura Ring Gen 4. If you have any questions or comments, drop them down below. And while you're down there, like and subscribe and hit the bell icon, because how else am I supposed to become a YouTube millionaire? As always, thanks for watching. I'm Kevin for Overkill. See you in the next one. Peace!